Welcome to Freedom After 40, the show for Gen Xers ready to create income online, escape the 9 to 5, travel the world, and live life on your terms. Here's your host, Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Not a guru, just a fellow Gen Xer, a few steps ahead, who guides you through the mindset shifts, money moves, and digital strategies that helped him leave the grind behind and start living free. If you're tired of feeling stuck and know there's more life to live, this show is your roadmap to building the second half comeback you deserve. Let's create, escape, travel, and live.
Hey, what's up? What's up? This your man Orville J. Parker, aka Coach, guys. Welcome to this episode of Freedom After 40. If you're a first-time viewer, I want to go ahead and just thank you. Just want to thank you for stopping by and checking out what your guy got going on. If you are a loyal viewer, a continuous watcher, all right, if you are addicted to the sauce that I bring on this show, I want to thank you for showing support. All right, guys, so if you're a first-time viewer, I just want to go ahead and lay the groundwork. What in the heck is Freedom After 40? Basically, this is a podcast that I put together for Generation Xers. I call myself the old person whisperer. And I'm just making fun with you guys. I'm 54 myself, so I can say that. But no, I put this show together to help Generation Xers who were looking to make a change in their lives do three things. You know, we focus on three pillars here at the show. We really focus on four. All right, we're gonna teach you how to go out and create the life that you want. All right, and that means create the systems and the processes and stuff like that. That's going to help you get out here and do what it is that you're trying to do at this stage of your life. We're going to also help you escape, man. We're going to help you get free. We're going to help you escape that 9 to 5 if that's what you're looking to do. We're going to help you escape from that area that you live in if you want to relocate. We're going to help you escape from things that don't fit or align with who you are right now. And then we're going to talk to you guys about, about getting free, man, and getting out in the world and experiencing the world through travel, man, and just getting out there and doing things. And then last but not least, we just talk about life, man, living life on your own terms. I was working on some new training this morning. Me and my assistant, okay, Vic. And I was telling Vic, I told him the thing that keeps coming up when I think about everything I'm doing here at Freedom After 40. Oh yeah, big shout out to Modern Frontier Publishing, who brings this podcast. I almost forgot to give a shout out to the publishing company. But anyway, I was sitting there thinking this morning. I was working on some stuff, and I kept thinking about this whole thing with retirement, man. And I kept thinking about how, to me, especially getting to the age I'm at, that I don't believe a lot of people necessarily want to do what we call traditional retirement. I don't think that that's what they want to do, because I've had conversations with people that was retiring, looking to retire, and they always told me that they wanted to escape the job, escape the traditional work um, um, system, and they had something else that they wanted to do with their lives. Very few people I talk to, when I talk to them about retirement, is really thinking about going to sit on a couch forever or sit on a porch forever. Even if they're talking about doing leisure things, they have some balance with it, man. They want to get out and go fishing. They want to travel. They want to do this or that. So I was thinking about it, and I say, people don't necessarily want to retire, but instead they want to rewire, change who they are, what they're doing. Okay. And that really hit home for me, because that was really spot on with how I look at retirement for myself, for me and my wife and stuff like that. And I said, okay, that's going to be one of the things we're going to focus on going forward with everything we do, is just to really try to share and define what that looks like, rewiring, and then show people how to do it, man. A lot of people don't do for different reasons. But what I found is a lot of people don't do because they don't know how to connect the dots. And when you really think about that, man, that's a skill set in itself. A lot of people don't know how to look at something and then figure out the game plan. I guess they weren't good at putting puzzles together. I don't know. I'm just joking. But yeah, a lot of people don't. And all they're missing a lot of times is one piece to the puzzle, or how to look at something different. And that's one of the things, man, I pride myself on. And one of the things I constantly train my mind on is clarity, man. How to look at something and then figure something out. It's kind of like MacGyver. You remember the movie MacGyver? He was this guy, man. You could throw him in any situation, lock him up in a closet or somewhere, and he'll be handcuffed and gagged, right? And he always could figure out, first of all, what he was looking at. He would get clear on what he was up against. And then he would become very resourceful. He would look around and he would figure, okay, there's a clothespin over there, a belt buckle here. I can make a bomb with it. And the guy would get out of every situation. And so when I think about solutions, all right, and that's all it is. We're talking about solutions to a problem, or solutions, or strategy, or just a way of doing something to get a result, right? I think a lot of people need to get better at looking at things differently. And so we're gonna be that bridge for you here at Freedom After 40 and Modern Frontier Publishing. When I tell you guys that I'm totally committed, man, to exposing you guys to information and frameworks and syntaxes that's going to help you get out here and do what it is that you're trying to do in your life. When you start getting over the age of 40, man, life starts looking a lot different, man. You go through all those different processes that that you always heard about, when you were young. People start reflecting on their lives a lot. They start thinking about the rest of their life. And a lot of times when people get over the age of 40, man, they're not willing to do what they used to do, or they're not willing to negotiate and settle for things anymore. I think people start coming to grips with that whole thing about vanishing inventory when it comes to time, man. People look at their lives and they're like, okay, look, man, I don't know how much longer I got on planet Earth, but I'm not fit to spend the rest of my days going into that doggone job. All right. With them, what's. I'm not fit to do it. I'm not going to continue being stressed. I'm not going to continue having somebody, control my time, tell me when I could do and not do something. I'm not going to do it. People start looking at their sphere of people that they deal with, and they like, yeah, I'm not going to continue dealing with so and so. That vibe, that energy they bring, man, that's off alignment with who I am. I'm not trying to be around all that. I'm not trying to do all that. People start getting kind of looking at where they live at. Man, why am I living? Why am I living in this area where I got to fight all this doggone traffic every morning? Why am I every morning and see the ocean, see the mountains? Are you guys follow what I'm saying? I think when you're younger, man, your grasp on your life is seen through a different lens. And I think as you start getting older, man, and it's really right around that age 40 when you think about it, man, you start looking at things different, man. You start questioning things. And I think that was by design. I think that's very good for us. And that's why, as I was working on some of our training this morning, I was thinking rewire, man. People don't really want to read to it. Well, some people, you got a few people that want to go on the couch, man, and watch Netflix for the rest of their lives. But the majority of people don't. They just want their reality to look different than what it looks now. All right. And so when you really think about that, that's not retirement. They just want realignment, right? And so we're going to be focusing on helping our audience, our customers do that. Okay, so today, guys, what I want to do is I want to kind of share with you guys some processes, man. I do some of my best thinking early in the morning. I'm one of those guys, man, where I can't sleep worth nothing. My mind is always going, and I usually jump up, like I told you guys on I think it was on yesterday's episode. Man, I jump up out of bed. I wake up, I'm like, and I get up, man, and I come down here to the office because I find that I get a lot of my best work done early in the morning. A lot of my creativity, a lot of my thought process and stuff I get done early in the morning. And so this morning, I was up, and me and Vic, we was working on some new trainings and some new processes and stuff. And I was looking at what we were doing. And when I tell you guys, working with AI, you still have to know how to do everything that you need to know how to do as an entrepreneur. You got to know how to do everything. Okay. So AI doesn't eliminate that. What AI eliminates to me is the whole speed issue. You can get so much done with AI. Productivity, boom, if you're doing it right. And it's kind of scary when you get done, man, because you start seeing how fast you can go. Okay. And so I was looking today, man, and that's what I was looking at because we banged out. I can't even remember what all we banged out. I was up for probably about 3 hours, and I know we created I know two. Two. I know at least two new trainings. I'm talking about new guides, 8 modules in it. All right, one we did around AI and the creator. So we went out and we created a real ground level course teaching creators how to leverage AI, and we did that. And then we also created a course. It's called the Leverage Entrepreneur, and we went in and redid that one also too. That was, and I might be missing another one. We might have banged out a third one. And these are not long courses. These would be considered what you call mini trainings, but they're about 8 modules long. Okay, we did those. But then what we also did was we also created a framework for me to have a visual to see my position, all right, as a publisher, right? And for me to have something to look at, okay? And we did some other things, man. We did some other things. We got a lot done this morning. But when I was looking at what we were doing, man, I was going back through and I was telling my assistant, I was like, yeah, I got to go back through a lot of the I call them conversations that we've had over the last 2 to 3 weeks, and look at a lot of the training that we created or what we created and extract it out and put it into some kind of form so we could do something with it. And I was thinking about the level of productivity that we be hitting. And I was like, man, you know, this thing could go as fast and as far as I wanted to go. Because when I started leveraging AI, it removed all the limitations, all the limitations. Okay. So from an entrepreneur standpoint, I started telling myself, I said, hey, Orville, you got to get better at how you are capturing and organizing the data, the projects, everything you're doing. You got to get better, buddy. And I was thinking about the whole digital space, right? And guys, follow what I'm saying. You have two force multipliers that have converged. One is the internet, the digital space, right? That in itself brings a whole paradigm shift on how you do business, because things that used to take you long to do don't take you any time to do it no more. If I want to put a message out there to the world, you used to have to go buy ads or try to get you some type of media space. You don't have to do that anymore. I can come right in the office, sit down, and record. And I don't even have to come in the office, to be honest with you. I could just pull out the cell phone and record. Push a button, and I could deploy that message, that communication, that content to one platform or to multiple platforms that fast. All right. If I have a product that I want to deploy out, I can literally have it up, all right, in a matter of minutes and for sale. All right. So when you really think about it, the internet alone allows for us to move fast in the digital landscape. But now when you bring AI into the picture, now you're talking about operating at hyper speeds, right? And so one of the things I was telling my wife this morning, she came into the office, she was talking to me a little bit, and I was telling her, I say, it's insane, it's crazy how much I've been able to get accomplished today, this week, and this year, right? But I told her, I said, all means nothing unless I put together what I need to go ahead and put together to start marketing and selling what we've created. You guys follow what I'm saying? Because right now it's cool, but it's still not potential. I haven't tapped into the potential yet because I haven't finished the process. And so when I was going back and I was talking to Vic, and we were talking about putting together my operating system for how I look at what I do. And one of the things he asked me, which was very key, he said, do you want to go ahead and put processes together on how we create our training? We've done this to a degree, right? But when he said it today, it really resonated with me because if you were to watch how we create what we create, I mean, it is crazy, but it's super impressive. But what happens a lot of times, now follow what I'm saying, if you're a creator out there, you understand what I'm talking about. If you're an entrepreneur, you understand what I'm talking about. You have two things that happen if you're not careful when it comes to this whole digital game. Because first of all, we said with this digital game, man, we could do more faster, and we can roll because we don't have the constraints, buildings, employees, physical locations, a lot of times inventory. Because what we're doing is we're creating things in the cloud digitally, right? We don't have those. Okay, so we can go very, very fast. And when you put AI into the mix, now you can go very, very fast, and you can do a lot, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, you got that entrepreneur brain, or that squirrel brain is what my one of my mentors used to say, or just that creativeness. I mean, it's like having a kid in the candy store, man. You mean I can do this, and I can go as fast, and I can do this and this? Everything that used to be a limitation, most of you've removed it, right? And if you are this kind of mind that you love to create and think, man, that can get dangerous because you can get caught up in this chaotic web of just doing a lot of things and not bringing things to market and not finishing things and not driving the way that you need to drive. And so one of the things that I'm doing, all right, and I've been doing it too, but today I'm starting it, is that as I'm working on different projects, I am looking at every area of my business and saying, okay, is it systematized? Do we have a SOP in place for it? All right. Do we have a framework and a process of how we do that? And if we don't, then we're going to figure it out, right? And because this is what that's going to allow me to do, guys. And again, you have to really understand that I'm working in a very unique way, and I'm going to kind of explain it to you. So we say it's a digital business. So the constraints that you usually have with a physical business, you don't have. All right. That's one thing. Two, AI. All right. Digital business. All right. AI. Okay. Then three is the whole creative process. Creators, man, we love to create. We're entrepreneurs. We're visionaries. You follow what I'm saying? Now, in order for any person to be successful in this kind of environment, it is required that you have systems in place. And you have systems in place to be guardrails, man. First of all, to keep you on track. All right. But if you're going to really do this thing, and crank things out and scale down the road, you got to have your processes lined up so you can repeat it, right? If you operate without a system, man, you can't repeat anything you've done. So that means that we can get in today, we could be productive today, unproductive tomorrow, productive the next day, unproductive the following day. And this is why companies are built off of systems. Okay, I had a quote that I used to tell my guys when I was working the job. I used to tell them that systems run businesses and people run systems. You got to have systems. Systems are an organized framework of how you go about doing something. I like to consider it like a recipe. It's your ingredients, guys. It's your ingredients for you to create success, right? And I think in online business in the digital space, I believe that we have a lot of things that are the upside of business. But at the same time, we have some things that I think if we're not careful, it can hurt us and hinder us. Okay. So like to give you guys an example, I'm a one person operation. I'm the only human being that works for my company, but I have staff. And my staff is artificial intelligence, AI. And so my staff doesn't have the constraints that I have because they're always on go. Okay. But me, as a person, as a human being, I have constraints, right? I can get overwhelmed. I can get confused. I can get caught in the weeds. I can get tired. I can get frustrated. All right. So, systems to me allow me to look at this unique space that I find myself in, the digital world, where things can go super fast, where things that maybe was a hindrance in the real world is not a hindrance. Okay, I want to bring a product to market. Depending on what product that is, I can bring it to market in a day. I want to start marketing something. Depending on what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, I could start today. Or you guys follow what I'm saying? That's a very powerful environment to be in. But it has to be managed, right? If it ain't managed the correct way, then you don't get anything done. Again, when you tie AI into the digital space, now you have the ability to go out and do things and do it very, very fast. And with that comes a lot of chaos if you're not careful. And so, I don't know, just personally, I'm looking at everything I'm doing and I'm saying, okay, one of the things that I've been able to identify that held me back or kept me from hitting the goals that I wanted to hit in the past was this thing called organization, systems, processes. I've been good. Don't get me wrong. I've been good at doing certain parts of it, but I haven't went in and leaned into it enough to say, okay, look, I'm a master this. And again, if you're the creative type, a lot of times you don't want too much structure, right? But if you're going to be successful out here as an entrepreneur, especially in this digital space where things go hyper fast, you have to be systematic. All right. You have to be organized. You have to have processes and systems in place to be able to allow you and help you do what it is that you're trying to do. Because if you don't have that in place, man, you're not going to be as effective as you could be. You're not going to be as focused as you can be. You're not going to be as productive as you can be. All right. So, yeah. So let me show you guys what I was working on today. And this is just going to be a little snapshot into a process and a system that we put together um, to help me stay on frame with how I'm positioned in my publishing company. All right. Give me a minute. All right. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Give me a minute. Give me a little bit of my drink. All right. So let me share my screen with you guys. Doo-doo-doo. Man, okay, so you guys. All right. So you should be looking in. Let me open this up some so it's not so distracted over here, man. I got a lot of windows open up on my computer. Okay, so let me see. All right, so that's good. That's good. Good. All right. So what you guys are looking at here is a document we put together. Now, let's call it a framework. And this was to put in place a visual for me to have an understanding of processes and systems around what I'm doing with my publishing company. So I'm the publisher, right? So what we did was we said, okay, all right, so the first zone that I operate in is ideation, the creative vision. Purpose feeds your system with new aligned ideas that become guides, frameworks, and digital assets. All right. So that's what I'm supposed to do in this particular role or position. So things like a showrunner and a curator, constantly exploring, filtering, and refining what belongs in the modern frontier university, which is my publishing company. Key activities: daily brainstorm and journaling. All right, researching trends in AI, digital publishing, and preparedness. Listening to podcasts, scanning books, important timeless frameworks, documenting ideal bank entries with potential products, offers, and bundles. All right. And then we were able to go in and define what tools I could use to do this. Apple Notes, Notion, I love both of those. Probably gonna do more in Apple Notes though. Chat GPT and Google Docs or Apple Pages. I do most of mine in Apple Pages. And output examples from the ideation framework. Freedom After 40 newsletter themes. New frameworks for new guides and concept boards for a new micro guide or challenge. So what we're doing is we're giving an example of what would be the outcome of me doing this particular zone. Then weekly rhythm, 3 ideal sessions per week, short brainstorms, one curation block, decide which 1 or 2 ideas move to production. And then here's kind of like a checklist, okay? And then we do this for production, all right? And we do this for vision, all right? All right. All right. So, are you guys follow what I'm saying? All right. So, we do this for each one of those zones, right? Now, the thing is, now by us doing this, I have a visual of what my role is and how I fit into the picture of what I'm doing in an organized manner. So now, what we work on now is going in and creating systems that allow me to do what it is I'm supposed to do as I'm operating in each one of these zones. Like, let me show you guys. If I go to zone 2, production and content factory, turn raw ideas into finished, polished, sellable assets. You're managing a creative assembly line, not doing all the parts, but directing each stage. Your role: creative director and quality controller. Key activities: create outlines and frameworks for guides, courses, and bundles. Oversee tone, design, and formatting for Apple Pages. Approve visuals and branding consistency. Manage production calendar for upcoming releases and ensure all assets connect to my ecosystem. All right. Then it shows what tools that I will use, output examples, and by doing the production part of it, we're able to create ebooks, courses, frameworks, cheat sheets, launch scripts, bundles, funnels. This is where we create our product at. And then the weekly rhythm, 2 production days and 1 review day per week. All right, and then here's our checklist. Okay, and then like vision, design the long game, where the brand is heading, what future products align, and how everything connects under the modern frontier banner. My role at this point is strategist, visionary, brand architect. All right, key activities: design product ladders, build the modern frontier universe roadmap. So we call this our ascension ladder, what we sell. All right, and how we get a customer to ascend up our ladder of products. Okay, and so like some of the activities on this design product ladder, build the Modern Frontier Universe roadmap, identify partnerships, affiliate programs, collaborations, set quarterly publishing goals, revisit mission and audience evolution. All right, then I have the tools that I use for this, and then output examples. So the Modern Frontier ecosystem map, annual publishing roadmap, future offer blueprints. So future titles that we're going to do, and then weekly rhythm, one vision session and one strategy session per week, and then a checklist. Okay, so as a digital publisher, okay, as a publisher, so now I have a kind of like a clear understanding. Hold on one second, make sure we're looking at the right things. Bam. All right, so that's good. All right, so now I have everything spelled out clearly. All right, that's what you call clarity, right? I have everything spelled out clearly. Okay. Now, what that allows me to do now is that allows for me to build backwards now. So now what I'll do is I get in and I'll work with my assistant and we'll start building out systems that allow me to do that effortlessly. But this is the whole thing about a system also though. When I build it out, it has to be built out in a way to where I can take a one-page operations manual, hand it to somebody, and say, okay, you go do it. Okay? So really think about that. So a system has to be fleshed out, put together to where it makes sense, but then it has to be streamlined. So I can take it, I can easily explain it to somebody and hand it off to somebody. But now, by having a clear picture of my positioning and what we're doing, that keeps me on target, right? And for me to be able to accomplish those deliverables in each one of those stages, I got to be organized, man. I got to be about it, right? And so the only way, as a creative, as an entrepreneur, as a squirrel brain, I can stay focused and organized is to build out systems that force me, hold me accountable to be doing the thing that I need to do in a specific manner every time. Every time. Okay. So, yeah, so that's what we're going to be working on here at the Freedom After 40 podcast and with Modern Frontier Publishing is, and guys, what I just told you guys, I just told you for the publishing side. We didn't even talk about the podcast side. So for this podcast, everything I have to do have to be systematized. And this is a lot easier because the way that would look with this would be, like when I first start streaming. Okay, first of all, it would be streaming. I stream live versus to record and then uploading it. Because by me going live, as I get to putting this out there, I can have a live interaction with audience and with viewers. But then also, this is deployed to multiple platforms using the software I use, and I didn't have to go upload it to all these platforms. So it's an efficiency thing too. Okay, and but now when I start this podcast, there are certain things happen. Like you guys will see me, I'll start my intro, all right, around the brand, introducing me in the podcast. Then you'll see me go to this right here. Um, I'll show you guys that. Hold on a minute. And these windows, boy. I don't know why this. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Man, I hope I haven't had that window open. That's my fault, guys. Give me a minute. Cooking here, and then I'm getting all confused with these windows because the way my desktop is set up, man, I gotta do this a little bit different. Okay, yeah, cause see, I'm not able to see certain things. Okay, so when I do that right there, yeah, see, so what I'm doing is just verifying something. Hold on, yeah. So that's scary. So I hope that's not the case. All right. I really hope that's not the case, or this whole live will be messed up. But we gonna keep it rolling though. We're gonna keep it rolling. But yeah, hope that's not the case. Okay, so hopefully we didn't have that thing going the whole time. All right, but anyway, so when I start my lives, you don't even see this right here, right? So when I first log on live, I'm like this. All right. Then what I do is I turn on my intro, and then I go to this screen here. All right, hold on. I go here. And I'll let this play as probably about a few seconds when the intro happened. Then I come out of there. Then I throw the overlay up, guys. You got to bear with me because for some reason my doggone mouse is acting up. But I'll throw that up. All right. And then as soon as the intro goes off, all right, then I go into my welcome. Hey, what's up? What's up? This is your man, Orville J. Parker, aka Coach. Guys, welcome to this episode of the show. Then I thank the new viewers, the continuous viewers. All right. So I have a system that I have in place for the podcast intro, starting the podcast. But then when I get off into the podcast itself right now, I am not going off of any format, any pre-planned sequence. I'm not doing it. I'm just shooting off the hip, talking to you guys about things that I want to talk to you about. But one of the things I want to do is, as I move forward, I want to keep the podcasts a little bit shorter than an hour. All right. And so for me to cover a lot of the things that I do want to cover in the podcast is I'm going to create me a framework for how that podcast go down. So for like the first thing I talk about is this, then I move to this, then I move to that, then I move to this. And I do that every time. So that way I'm able to cover and hit all the things I want to hit. So when I turn on this podcast, man, I know everything that I need to do when I need to do it. Okay. And so this even has to be systematized. And guys, this is the reason why you do that. It makes your job a lot easier as an entrepreneur. But by creating systems, man, you can literally build and position yourself to be able to get out of that role. So as a brand, I am not looking to stay the face of my podcast forever. All right. When it comes to my publishing company, man, I want to be behind the scenes. I'm not an information marketer where I'm marketing things that are based off of me and what I know. I am building a real publishing company and a digital publishing company where eventually, man, I'm just an entrepreneur. I'm just a guy who owns the company. And I'm in the backdrop. You don't even see me that much. And now I could bring other people on board and have them be front facing. All right. Systems. I got to have systems in place to be able to do that. You can't scale. You can't be consistent with your outcomes and results without systems. All right. So everything is system dependent. Remember what we said with the quote, guys. What was it? What did we say? We say systems run businesses and people run systems. All right. You want to be system dependent, not people dependent. All right. So hopefully you guys got something from that. All right. And again, got some things that we're looking to do here at Freedom After 40 for my geezers, for my old people. No, I'm joking. I keep joking with y'all. I'm old too, man. I can't talk. I'm old too. No, for my Generation Xers. I got a lot of good content, man. And I just got to figure out how I'm going to do what I'm going to do. All right. But I got to figure out how I'm going to expose you guys to everything that I want to expose you to and kind of keep the direction and the vision I want to go with this show, man. But I don't want it to be like, I want to be able to get on here and just really talk to you guys about what I want to talk to you guys about that day. And be able to share with you guys what I want to share with you. So it's not going to be rigid or anything like that. But yeah, I got some good stuff coming. And so this is what you guys need to do. I'm going to give you some homework, man. I'm going to give you some homework. I want you to look at your life and your business and your job, okay? Because some of you guys don't have businesses. And I want you guys to focus on what we talked about at the beginning of the podcast, talking about retirement. You know, if you're past the age of 40 or you're close to getting the age of 40, what I want you to do is I want you to sit down and I want you to have a conversation with yourself, right? And I want you to ask yourself, hey, self, what does retirement look like for me? You know, what am I doing every day? Where am I living at? What do I look like? What does my money look like? What do my relationships look like? How do I feel my time? And guys, I want you to do this because I want you to really explore what it is that you want this to look like this time in your life, man. And then, guys, you're gonna get an understanding of what it is that you're trying to do, hopefully. And then I want you to ask yourself, when you get that information, I want you to ask yourself, does this look like retire or does this look like rewire? All right. And there's a huge difference. When we rewire, we are looking to rebuild, recreate who we are, what we do, what we stand for, all right. We're not looking to untether from life and just sit around and get old. And you know what they say, most people that sit around and get old will know what happened to them. We're not looking to do that. So if that's the case, then you want to get all that figured out now. So that way, as you're plugging into what we're doing here at Freedom After 40, you're going over there investing in the guides that we're creating over at Modern Frontier Publishing. You are able to start putting in place what you need to put in place for your great escape, right? You're able to create that now, okay? And then the other thing I want you guys to understand is that I'm talking about personal life. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about at your job. And then even more, if you're talking about launching a business, is that you have to build systems and processes that allow for you to get predictable results, right? If you don't do that, there's going to be inconsistency. It's hard to manage growth because every day is a different day. Really think about how chaotic and crazy it is. Really think about if you work a job, really think about what your job would look like if every day you went into your job, you had to do something totally different and the place was totally different. They moved stuff around, they brought new furniture, everything was always different. What do you think that would do to your mind? All right, how effective do you think you would be able to be at doing your job if that was the case? All right, so systems are very, very important. And they're real important when you start playing in this game where we're playing digital, right? Just being digital anyway removes so many barriers from going forward. So if you don't have a barrier for going forward, then you go forward fast, often. And so it brings its own challenges that you got to manage. Now, when you tie something like AI and advanced software to it, yeah, you got to have these systems. If not, you're going to crash and burn. You're going to get somewhere fast that you're not ready to go to, or you won't be able to maximize and tap into your potential, right? So put systems in place, okay? And I'm going to tell you how I'm to get, guys. And this is how I've done this before, and I did it to a degree, but I'm to stand 10 toes on it. When I tell you guys, I'm to get very anal when it comes to systems. I'm to systematize everything in my life and force myself through sheer discipline to stay locked and loaded with systems. Because I believe, guys, if you have information, resources, and know how, and you put that thing together and you wrap a system around it where you're able to go in there and you're able to repeatedly get those results, hey, that's a game changer. All right. So hope you guys got something from that. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna invite you guys, man. If you're sitting there and you've been listening to my voice, you say, man, um, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to get out this job, man. I'm ready to get out this life. Or you're saying, okay, I can't wait till my time comes, but you need to get prepared, right? You know you need to make money because I tell everybody, you never want to just be dependent on a retirement income. All right, so you need to learn how to create some income streams that you own and control. And that's your foundation for freedom, is that moolah, is that money, right? So what you need to do is you need to go over to the link that, depending on where you're looking at this video, it might be in the description. You'll see it. It might be in the comments, and I'll let you know if it's in the comments, or it might be on my bio or on my profile. But wherever it's at, you need to go over there. And the first thing you need to do is you need to download that free report that I've put over there for you guys called the Freedom Formula. That's going to break down a business model that I'm championing, man. It's one that I'm heavily promoting. All right. It doesn't require you to have a lot of money. You literally can get started with that for about $100, right? And then you can go out here and build a modern business, a digital business that is built off of automation and systems. And once you build it, then this is the thing, guys. You can take any content. You can take any content and monetize any type of content with that system you're going to find inside of that freedom formula. And you might say, okay, Orville, look, I'm not tech savvy. I don't want to do all that. Well, I'm going to tell you, I designed this system to be very simple for anybody to put it together. But if you don't want to fool with it, that's good, because I already got you covered. All right. I got education and I got money to put in your pocket. All right. So the second option over there at that link is going to be for a ebook. We call it an ebook, man, but we drop 4 mini courses inside that ebook. And it's called Launch the Content Creators Blueprint, where we walk you through and we lay the groundwork for everything, man. A one-person business. We show you how to start creating content, how to go about that process. Then we talk to you about the different strategies that other successful content creators are using out here to monetize your content. We walk you through that. And then we give you frameworks on how to build a business around content. And guys, when I say content, I'm talking about any kind of content. You know, I tell a lot of people, I say, do you post on social media? Yeah, or if I post on social media. What do you post on social media? I post pictures. I'll share like our dates with my spouse when we go on vacation, things that I find, cool memes and stuff. I say, okay, you're a content creator. You're a content creator. Now, some content creators make money, some don't. But I tell them what I want to do is, though, I want to go a little bit step further, if you allow me. I want to show you how to become a digital publisher. All right. And that's a different level. So now you're taking your content and you are doing certain things with your content or around your content that allow for you to start creating and building income streams that you own and control. And I show you how to do that and Launch the Content Creators Blueprint, even if you don't have anything to sell. I have an affiliate program that I have built into that product. So when you buy the product, you're going to be able to get in there and learn 210 pages, start learning this digital game, right? But in the meantime, you might say, I need to make some money, man. I got you. You're going to get an affiliate link inside there. Then all you have to do, we have a module called Transform and Create. And we say, okay, look, this is basically how this is set up. You look at some different things you want to fix in your life, right? And then you decide that you're going to fix it. Then you go to your social media profile. You say, hey, guys, look, I got some things I want to fix in my life. And I'm going to document the process. And I'm going to share with you guys my journey to fixing this. It might be losing 15 pounds. It might be what? Retiring from my job. It might be moving. It might be traveling, whatever. And then we show you how to turn around and start creating small pieces of content, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 1 minute, 5 minutes, whatever you want to do. Sharing that documentation and that process with your social media following. And then we show you how to put a little bitty piece of verbiage at the end. Hey, guys, if you're interested in checking out the resource that I'm using to learn this whole thing with content creation, digital marketing, building a personal brand, then check out the link below this video. Check out the link on my bio. Check out the link on my profile. All right, guys? And anytime somebody goes over there, they plug into your done for you system that we created for you. You didn't have to do anything but get that link. We got the funnels, we got the automations, we got the explaining, the closing. We do it all for you, all automatically. Somebody decides to buy the $49.97 ebook. All right, guess what? You make $25. All right, you just made $25. Didn't have to create a product, didn't have to do any of that. Now, what I want to do is I want you to do a little dreaming and visualizing. Let's say, for instance, you started putting out 3 small pieces of content a day that only took you about 30 minutes to do, sharing your journey of whatever you're fixing in your life, whatever you're doing in your life. And then you add that little blurb like I told you to add. Let's say, for instance, you started getting 2 people a day to sign up and say, look, I want to learn some things that's going to help me escape some things. So now you're making $50 a day, $25 a piece, right? That's a $1,500 a month income stream in a business that you launched. Remember I said the business, even though you're doing affiliate marketing, what did I tell you? I said I'm going to turn you from a content creator to a publisher. So inside there, we talked to you about how to go set your own LLC up, right? How to create a one-page website, how to get you a brandable domain, all right? How to get you a virtual phone number. You set it up like a real business, right? Real business. You own a publishing company. And inside Launch the Content Creators Blueprint, the ebook, we teach you how to create products from something you know. We show you how to research and create products. And then we show you also how to sell other people's knowledge, other people's information. That's what you're doing with us. And let's say you get going with this content. You're loving it. People are vibing with your documentation or your change. They love the way you're building your home, losing that weight, restoring the car, whatever you're doing. All right. And you start getting 5 sales a day. All right. You're at 125 a day. All right. With that, you're almost $4,000 a month. And you never had to go out there and create a product. You never had to talk to anybody. You never had to do anything complicated. All you did was took that link, created content the way that we teach you how to create content inside that ebook, and you deploy your content and you're making money. All right. And from there, guys, the sky's the limit. But right then and there, you have a location independent business that you can run from anywhere in the world because we just taught you a framework. We taught you how to go out here and leverage other people's IP, other people's intellectual property. So now if you are marketing my ebook, is it safe to say that you can probably find 2 more that you want to market? Talking about 2 other different things? What about a piece of software that you use? So now you have my ebook, 2 more that's teaching on something else, and a piece of software. You got 4 income streams. Now you're free. Now you're free because you done learned the framework that you can plug and play products on. But the framework, you keep consistent. You create making content around things that you want to change, things that you want to fix, things that you want to explore and experience in your life. That's all that you have to do with content creation. And then you tell people, oh yeah, by the way, guys, I'm making X amount of dollars a month. You want to know how? All I'm doing is sharing this resource that's changing my life that I'm learning all these different strategies from. And people go check it out and people buy. People want to get free, guys. They want to be free. They want to be free. Let me show you guys this right here. All right. This is what you want to become. You want to become a contentpreneur, somebody who builds a business with or around content. Now, one of the easiest ways of doing this is through sharing, marketing, selling, information around teaching somebody how to do something. We call this e-learning. All right. So global e-learning market expected to reach $550 billion by 2030. I think right now they say it's right at $1 billion a day. Okay. Over 50% of the people now prefer to learn online. Average person spends 24 hours per month learning online. Knowledge entrepreneurs are creating 6 and 7 figure businesses from home. Everyday people are turning their experience into profitable digital products. Okay. And I'm going to show you how they're doing this. All right. I'm going to show you how they're doing this. Let me get my right slide. All right. Let me get my right slide. Let me see if this is the right one. No, that's not the right one. You see, guys, even if you mess up some things, you can do this. Okay. Even if you mess up some things. Let me see if I can find the one that I really want to show you guys. Give me a minute. If not, then we just gonna keep it moving. We just gonna keep it moving. Bam. All right. Okay, so it's here. It's here with this one. Okay. All right. So decentralized education. Everyday men and women documenting their transformations, then turning around and teaching others how to do the same. Guys, billions and billions of dollars are being generated around what you just heard, decentralized education. No longer are we looking to go to experts, professors, colleges for information. We want to go out and find real world men and women who went out and did something. They didn't document it, something that they didn't done, a transformation, overcame something, fixed something. And then we're willing to pay them to show us how to do what they just did. All right? Fix your own problem, document the process, and sell the solution to others. That's what we're talking about here, guys. You're going to learn how to get free. All right? You're going to learn how to get free. And then you're going to turn around and share that with other people. That's the whole business model that I'm sharing with you guys here. Okay? Very, very, very powerful. So if you want to get free, go get my free report, The Freedom Formula. And then for my action takers, go ahead and purchase Launch the Content Creators Blueprint. And you're going to get access to that. You're going to get it in two formats too, guys. You're going to get it in PDF, which is really cool. And I'm going to show you guys something here. Let me get up. You're going to get it in PDF, right? And that's very powerful because a PDF, man, my back is hurt. I feel like, oh, man. All right. The PDF is going to allow you to be able to interact with that content on your computer. So you'll be able to read it just like you're reading a book. You remember how I pulled it up and I was showing you guys? Let me show you guys again. Let me see if I can find it. So I'm going to show you how that looks if you're looking at it. All right. I'll just pull up this screen. It's not actual ebook, but we're going to cheat. All right, because I don't feel like digging through it. But I'll show you what a PDF looks like. So this is what a PDF looks like. So when you're reading Launch the Content Creators Blueprint, you're going to be able to read it on your screen like this, okay? But now the cool thing is that you can take and you can print it out as a PDF also, and that's one of the reasons why I did it. Now, if you notice, I don't have any fancy Canva backgrounds, pictures, all that stuff. I kept it very old school, simple, just like the books you get on Kindle. White background, black ink, all right? And this is what this looks like. All right, so this is what this looks like right here. All right, so you see that there? All right, so this is me where I printed out a little bit of the ebook. Now, this ebook Launch has 215 pages in it, guys. 215 pages. But the cool thing is that you can read through it page by page. So you might say, okay, or I just want to print a page. I go print a page out, man. Sit down with it with a marker, with the ink pen, with the highlighter. Or you might say, okay, I want to print a chapter out. That's how we got it set up, guys. We got it formatted for you to easily read. You can go through, read it, highlight it, make notes, or you can print out the whole ebook. Now, if you want to read it on your devices, say like your phones, your tablets, things like that, we have a EPUB version of it. So we give it to you in PDF and EPUB. Now, what EPUB allows you to do is it's what they call a responsive version. You don't have to worry about zooming in, pinching anything, moving anything over. You just open that baby up, and you'll be able to read it on any device. That's the same format that a lot of your libraries use with their ebooks. All right? But you're going to get those in both of them. Now, depending on when you're watching this, one of the things I'm working on is running our ebooks through our AI software, and we got some really cool voices that we got, some narrators where we're going to be turning all of our ebooks into audiobooks also. So you'll be able to download the audio version of the ebook and just listen to it, man. So if you like to read, that's good. If you like to listen, that's good too. And oh yeah, did I tell you guys that we give lifetime updates? So whenever we update the product, you'll get the newest version of it in your back office for where you bought it at over our Stand store, and you'll get all the updated versions of it. Okay, $49.97, guys. It's a steal. I need to raise the price up on that thing to probably about $199, to be honest with you guys. But we're going to leave it at $49.97. You go over there, purchase it. You're going to be able to learn and earn at the same time. Jump in, start learning, but then also start sharing that link. And you can start making that money. Remember, we said 2 sales a day. We give you $50 a day, give you $1,500 a month. If you made content, you referred, and you got 5 people a day, that's $125 a day. That's almost $4,000 a month, guys. You got doing something that you would have done anyway, sharing content on social media. And you're learning a high value skill set that we're going to show you how to take and scale it up. You know, we got a bundle pack that we're putting together that we should have available here soon that's going to take it through the roof for you guys, for you to learn some skills, man, that you can go out here and constantly make money. And I'm excited. But we're not going to overwhelm you starting off. So we're just going to give you lunch right now. So go over there and grab that ebook. Yeah. And I'll catch you guys on the next live. God bless.